I'm currently heading to a 2019 VW Transporter. This is the one with the DSG gearbox too. So we're not just going to be recalibrating the engine ECU, we're going to recalibrate the whole drivetrain, engine and gearbox. It's going to transform this and just feel more natural to drive. So it's Volkswagen Audi Group, so we're going to need VCDS as the scan tool to carry out the diagnostic check. And for those that didn't know, VCDS stands for VAGCOM Diagnostic System. So we're just plugging it into our laptop now, and then we'll scan the whole vehicle. So all we have to do is press auto scan and start and let it do its thing. And let it do its thing. Here we go. Just working its way through all the systems on the vehicle. So we're just going to let it complete doing what it's doing. We'll look over the diagnostic scan, then going to warm the vehicle up to normal operating temperatures, look at live data, make sure everything's doing what it needs to be doing, and then we'll look at recalibrating the software. It all seems good and healthy, so what we're going to do is put a battery maintainer on it all during the programming process. Now, I've seen some people use weird and wonderful stuff as a battery maintainer, but reality is this particular one here is the gold standard, and you'll see it used by all the professionals. And when it comes to reading and writing the ECU, we're using a tool called Auto Tuner, and we're just going to be doing it via OBD. Just like most modern vehicles, it's not possible to read via the OBD socket, but what we can do is download the factory file, edit that, and then write that back in. And the important thing to remember with this, because it downloads the factory file that it left the factory with, if this vehicle had had, say, a speed limit off at some point in its past, it then reapply that. So once I've written the new software to the vehicle, we will double check that the speed limiter is still gone, just in case. And modern tools require a good internet connection all the way through the process. If that drops out, then you could potentially brick an ECU because the tool won't allow the finishing of the job. Don't bother with even trying to tether to my phone anymore. Every job now is just done via Starlink. So whilst it's writing the ECU, it's always worth just keeping a check that your battery support is doing what you want it to do. So obviously this one's in diag mode, it's set at 14.1 volts, and the vehicle's drawing 25 amps doing nothing. What's really funny, or not funny, is that when I first started out 7 years ago, I went to a company and bought a programming tool and some basic startup gear, but what they sold me wasn't a battery support unit, they sold me a battery charger, and then it is a real struggle to get them to take it back and refund me their money because they were after the money rather than give me the right tool for the right job. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but that's the engine ECU successfully flashed. Just got to do the gearbox now. Now at this point I could do some weird and wonderful stuff. I could activate launch control or change the maximum RPM, give them full manual mode. But I'm not going to do any of that. We're just going to make it shift nicer. It's a van after all. So that's the gearbox all done too. So now what I'm doing is checking that I haven't inadvertently added a speed limiter if one was fitted from the factory. So we just go into this, have a look, 300 kmh. I haven't put a speed limiter on there. I doubt this customer is ever going to want to do more than that. So yeah, that's the final check. So like all our customers, the gentleman's now on a road test. We always say, take as long as you like, make sure you're happy with it. If for any reason he came back and said, yeah, it's not what I was hoping for, or it doesn't really feel like value for money, then we'd just simply put it back to stock and there'd be no charge. It's that simple.